this is some kind of sick joke, right?
I'm afraid not.
How long?
The truth is, Audrey, we're in love.
It's a big hold-up.
Substantial breach of the code of professional conduct. Fired me on the spot. Said I can appeal, but I don't think there's a chance.
I'm gonna go in there telling myself they've got this wrong.
Lloyd, rules are rules. I did what I did, and I chose to admit it. There's no use complaining.
But they're losing you. Can't they see what they're doing? I mean, they're ridiculous rules if it means someone like you can't practice.
The rules are there to protect the patient, and so they should be. They're in place so this doesn't happen.
You're too forgiving.
I'm too tired. Let's just go home and get this over with.
But Jenna, you don't deserve this.
I should have transferred her care. I've got no one to blame but myself.
So, were you together all along?
It's disgusting.
No, ma'am, of course we weren't.
So you never cared for me at all, right?
I cared for you deeply. Gail helped me recover.
Recover?
He was available.
Yes, because of you. You put the idea into my head, you and that hag from the pub. I mean, you put the doubts into my head, and then this.
You were fully behind that, ma'am. You didn't trust him. You were willing to put him to the test.
Lewis, what were you thinking? How could you do this to her?
It's disgusting.
He's done nothing wrong.
It just happened, Audrey.
We tried to fight it, and then to hide it. We didn't want to hurt you, ma'am. That was the last thing we wanted.
Well, if you didn't want to hurt me, you would have never started this, lady. Oh, I've heard enough, and I have seen far too much. Just to think, we were over in the pub trying to get this family back together. I was even prepared to forgive you. Aren't you glad we bothered?
It's disgusting.
So, Faye?
Faye, you going to say goodbye?
He's coming back in here.
Will you stop it with that attitude, please? She's got a carbon because I won't let her use the internet.
Bye. OK.
You just watch it, you.
Why? What are you going to do about it?
Oh, Faye, please.
I'm going to the cabin for some forms.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not. Because you'll be straight down that building site looking for him and I won't have it. You can sit down there and you can watch telly until your tea's ready. Go on.
I'm usually really good when it comes to spotting things like this.
It's disgusting.
How long have I worked with him? Not a clue.
You know all the time he was living with us?
Oh, I bet we're slipping into her bedroom at middle at night when no one will.
Thank you, Carla.
Do you want another in there?
Yeah, why not?
Kylie.
You sure that's a good idea?
Oh, let the woman have a drink. Come on.
And they're definitely, you know, she's not paying it.
Lewis is no longer an escort, thank you.
Well, she nursed him, I suppose. And you know what they say about nurses?
No, what do they say about nurses?
Well, the uniform and that.
You know, she didn't wear a uniform, did she? She wore a tabard thing, and I hardly think that's going to raise his blood pressure.
Oh, please do not mention blood pressure.
She's been like a teenager for weeks. Should have twigged.
I mean, why did I let that man back in my life, Nick? How could your mother do this to me?
How is it out there?
OK, yeah.
Tina said that Eileen and Deirdre stuck up for Kirsty.
No, I don't know about that.
What about Julie? What's she saying?
No, nothing much.
Was she kicking off again?
No, not really, no. What did social services say?
They're phoning me back. See, who expects everyone to care as much as you do? Why should they? It's not their problem, it's not their kid. And there's me hanging on for dear life.
I care.
I know you do. Where would it be without you, eh?
No.
You don't even work your notice.
Terminated with immediate effect.
Oh, why didn't you listen to me?
I did. I just couldn't go through with it. I'm sick of hiding.
You've thrown away everything. All that effort, all those years. What are your qualifications worth now, eh?
But maybe it isn't the
Nothing.
time.
That's what they're worth. Nothing.
Do you care about my job? Is that really why you're angry?
She's thrown everything away for an 18-year-old girl. You remember that when you're standing in the queue at the job centre? A recession. And she gives it away like the only thing that matters is a stupid little teenage girl.
Let's just forget about
Maybe it is. Maybe she is important.
Why didn't you tell me? tell him before me?
Because I knew he wouldn't judge me. He wouldn't fly off the handle. I have only just accepted this myself. I barely said it out loud. I was confused and ashamed and embarrassed, and why should I be?
Well, you tell me.
You shouldn't. I mean, should she?
You never made me feel like I could talk to you.
All my fault, then. On top of everything else.
She didn't say that. Man, come on. This isn't about the job, is it?
What is your problem?
I'm disappointed for you.
You're disappointed in me.
Are you?
I wish it wasn't true. Okay. I wish you were a nice, normal girl with a decent, loving husband and a couple of kids for good measure.
That's a horrible thing to say.
I'd prefer it if you weren't a lesbian. Does that make me the devil? Well, she went out of her way to be honest today. Why shouldn't I?
Mom!
He looks awful.
I should probably pop round.
Fizz is round there now.
What, a conjugal visit?
We'll be finished at 5. Why don't you pop round for your tea if you like? He'd love to see you. And you can help us cheer him up.
Oh, yeah, I could put on a puppet show.
No, you can tell him he'll be okay.
I wish I could.
Actually, stay away.
See, I'm just not that optimistic.
Right, we'll fake it. That's what we had to do.
Right, I'll pick up some cans on the way. That'll cheer him up.
Yeah. So, I gave him his change, £3.50. And he looks at me and says, I gave you a 20. And I'm not kidding, I had the £10 note in my hand. I said, mate, I've got the tenner in my hand here. So he said, no, I gave you a 20. I says, I'll give you a knuckle sandwich if you don't pack it in.
Thought I'd find you here.
Tracy?
There.
Sis?
Take a look. What's she done? Signed it Mickey Mouse.
So come on then, what's the catch?
That is the catch, Steve. You didn't know a good thing when you had it.
Well, I have to say, Tracy, this is very grown-up of you. I'd be lying, though, if I said I wasn't stunned. What made you change your mind?
Divorcee. I thought it sounded sexy. Michelle? Rob?
Perhaps now the cat's out of the bag, we should leave town. Maybe you were right.
Can I leave things like this?
Well, they're not hell-bent on forgiveness.
I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Everybody knows, they call us a few names, life goes on.
If we'd sat her down and told her, we could have salvaged something, but now...
Yeah, you're right. She'll never talk to me again. And who can blame her? She loved you. Passionately. Still does. She'll be crushed.
She was pretty miffed.
Miffed? Never seen her looking so shell-shocked.
Oh, God.
Oh, here we go.
So, what have the pair of you got to say for yourselves?
Technically, David, we've done nothing wrong.
Oh, come on. I went out with my mate's ex 18 months after she dumped him. She never spoke to me again. She wasn't my mate, she weren't my flaming mother.
Yeah? And it's not as though Gran dumped him. I mean, he left her in bits. You're a vulture, Mum. We all know you were desperate, but come on.
I beg your pardon.
Well, old pensioners cast off.
Hey, watch it.
He's a con man, a gigolo, your mother's ex. Can you set that bar any lower, please?
I'm no longer a gigolo.
She's on a third G&T.
So what's the plan, then? He moves in and you two live happily ever after, because I'm telling you this now, not on my watch.
This is my house.
She's already got morning sickness. Do you think she needs to see you two necking and all?
David.
Mum, you better get over there now and sort it fast before you can.
By doing what?
Talking to her. Saying you're sorry.
I've said sorry. We both have.
Well then, say it again. Louder.
Yeah, you as well, lover boy.
Well, I suppose we can try.
I don't see why not.
Maybe I should do this on my own.
No. We're in this together.
Are you sure?
It's my duty.
Who said chivalry was dead?
Waving the white flag at home.
They're here.
Well, I don't know why.
Well, let's just hear them out, eh?
What can they possibly say to make it better, David?
Can we join you?
Go on.
Well, I realise there are certain unwritten rules when it comes to this sort of thing.
So what rules are these?
Well, it could be perceived as bad form. We can see that, which is why we didn't do the decent thing.
And stay away from each other.
And sit down and tell you. We carried on behind your back, and that was wrong of us. Suppose we were postponing the inevitable. We knew this day would come, and we weren't looking forward to it. I'm sorry if we've hurt you, Mum. We both are.
See, I can understand him because he was born to seduce. But you, frankly, I never thought he'd look at you in that way.
Consider that a low blow, Mum. Anyway, this thing has happened. And so we all need to come to terms with it as quickly as we can.
Oh, right. So what do you suggest? That we just get on with our lives? Like, I laugh it all off, right?
And what do you suggest, ma'am?
I suggest that you stay out of my way, the barrier.
One large white wine and a fizzy water.
Thank you very much.
And is that all you've got to say on the matter?
No! I've got plenty to say.
Do you know, Mum, I'm getting just a little bit tired of this. You didn't trust him. You agreed to the scam. You proved yourself unfit for him. He was single. He was hurting. I was there for him. Louis?
Yeah, well, Gail's right. We had our chance of happiness, Audrey.
You couldn't bring yourself to forgive me, Louis. All you had to do was forgive me. But you lied to me. I had every reason not to trust you. You said you were going to meet an old friend. I mean, why couldn't you tell me the truth, right? You thought Gloria was ill and you were going to help her. I mean, if you believed that, why didn't you tell me?
I was trying to do the right thing by a woman I thought was dying.
But what about doing the right thing by me?
Well, she told me not to say anything.
Exactly. So you will take orders from another woman, but you won't trust me with the truth.
I always trusted you.
Oh, do you know, that is poppycock. That is just such sentimental drivel. Let's rewind, shall we? You left me high and dry at my own leaving party while you went sailing off halfway around the world with Peter Barlow's money. I forgave you, Louis. Would she?
Well, yes, I would, as a matter of fact.
Oh, I'm not talking to you.
For goodness sake, I've had enough. David, I've tried, but there's no reasoning with her. Come on, Louis, we're going.
You haven't paid for your drinks?
Call the police.
David's right. It's disgusting.
Well, I tell you what, Gail, the thought of walking the piazzas without prejudice. I know it's never going to happen, but it's a mighty tempting proposition.
Maybe they're right. Maybe this is madness. Is what we're doing despicable?
All I know is I want you. And when I see the way they treat you, I want you even more.
Oh, Louis.
It's okay. It's all right. Don't worry.
I just want to be alone with you. Away from here and away from them.
Yes, me. What of it?
Norris!
Well, go on then. What have you got to say? Give it your best shot.
I don't know where to start. I mean, he's a prostitute who's ripped off your mother.
He was, is, and did no such thing.
Well, I've seen it all now. I mean, there is scraping the bottom of the barrel and then... Oh.
Well, at least we weren't having it away while his mad wife was sat upstairs oblivious.
The woman is dead, Gail. Have some respect.
Yes, and who killed her? Because from what I heard, she was locked in the kitchen with a bowl of soapy water and a toaster.
You know, I'd watch your back if I were you. Because when it comes to men, she's 3 dead and counting.
How dare you?
Spot the pattern.
Get back to your glass house, Eileen.
Just take her away.
Come on, let's get back inside.
Why should I?
Because it's good for you.
Since when is mashed potatoes good for you?
Since it was made with potato and milk.
And butter, which is bad for you.
Will you just eat it?
I don't like it.
Well, you like fish fingers, don't you?
No.
Well, you used to.
Well, I don't anymore.
Oh, Faye, will you just eat it?
I've got rights. I'm not a prisoner.
Everything all right, girls?
No, she won't eat a tea.
Well, she can go to bed hungry then, can't she?
You can't lock me in.
Oh, yes, we can. We can do whatever we want.
Why? Because you're grown-ups. You think that makes you God?
Right, go to your room, and if you want any supper later, you can just forget about it.
I want to see my dad. You won't ban me from going on the internet or going to the shop for some flumps. He's my real family, not you.
Oh, Jay, is that you?
Yes.
Where have you been? Been phoning you non-stop.
Oh, I just popped into the Rovers.
What, for 2.5 hours?
No, I didn't stay.
Well, would you mind telling me next time? Mrs. Finch waited 1 hour and 3/4. I did Marjorie Betson, Mrs. Chatterton. I did your 4:45 and your 5 o'clock. I'm absolutely knackered. And then David texted me and said that he's taking the afternoon off. I mean, what's going on?
Maria, could I have a cup of tea?
Are you drunk?
No. I wish I was. I really wish I was. Oh, Maria, why does it always happen to me? Huh?
What are these frozen yogurts like?
Yeah, they're all right then.
That's like those yogurts in a tube. You know, the ones you open and they squirt halfway across the room.
Yeah.
I hope you're both happy.
What happened?
She got fired. That's what happened, with immediate effect.
Are you kidding me?
So thanks very much. A solid career completely destroyed.
Don't blame me. I'm not the one who acted unprofessionally.
One tiny mistake and that's it. You just couldn't let it go, could you?
Is she all right?
What do you think?
Can I go and speak to her?
You've done enough damage.
Your daughter's the one who overstepped the mark, and you must have agreed, so don't have a go at mine.
9 GCSEs, 4 A-levels, 2 degrees, up in smoke. I'm glad your daughter's back's better. From now on, keep out of our way.
The thing is, Trace, you've got to try and look on the bright side, love.
Is there one?
Of course there is. You might meet someone you like, and then you're not shackled anymore.
I liked Steve.
I know you like Steve. Steve didn't like you, though.
That is a really horrible thing to say.
Well, you know, truth sometimes is. The best thing you can do, believe me, is just sever all ties with him.
Oh, duh. He's the father of my child, Peter. Everything was on track.
I know, and then you went and blew it. No, look, Trace, you know, the best thing you can do is just learn from your mistakes, love, the same way that I have.
Oh, like I'm going to take relationship advice from a bigamist. I don't think so.
Personally, I blame the parents. You all right, gorgeous?
Oh, what do you want?
You got 2 minutes?
Why, have you come to gloat? I saw you in the Rovers earlier, smirking.
I wasn't smirking. I was admiring you.
Is that a fact?
It's pretty difficult not to, all things considered.
And what things are those?
Do you fancy going for a drink sometime?
Maybe.
Good.
I'll get my people to call your people. Good night.
Good night.
I saw your mum. She came into the shop.
She's gone to work now.
Yeah, I seen her go in. Look, Jenny, I'm really sorry, you know.
It's done with.
Why didn't you just let me take my statement back? You know I would have done it.
I know you would, but it was just something I had to do for myself.
Well, what does that mean?
Means I'll never be a physio again.
And what about us?
Us.
I just thought now you told the truth that, I don't know, there's a silver lining.
This morning I told my mum I was gay. This afternoon I lost my job.
Yeah, and this evening?
No.
But Jenna, why not? What's stopping us?
Sophie.
Please, can't we just get together?
Are you really that insensitive?
Look, I'm trying to look on the bright side. I'm trying to cheer you up. All this has happened for a reason.
I should have transferred your care. Maybe then, who knows? But right now it's the last thing on my mind.
Really?
Oh, look, maybe in a year or two when you're older you'll understand.
Thanks.
Oh, good night, Sophie.
Night.
Perhaps I should walk away. Give you all a chance to regroup.
No, don't say that.
They're more important to you than I am. I mean, what am I? I'm just the latest man to fall in love with you.
You're much more than that. And this is just the start.
Seems like a distant memory. And it was all there for the taking.
It still is.
Oh, Gail, please, don't tease.
We can't stay here.
We have no choice.
I'll take out the loan. We'll buy an apartment in Italy. You can work in the hotel. I'll get a little job. I'll clean again if necessary.
It's too high a price. I mean, everything you'd lose. Your mother, your boys, this house, and all its wonderful memories.
It's full of heartache and misery. We can do everything quickly and go.
Gail, I'm charmed by your impulsiveness, but I wouldn't allow you to. No. I mean, it's your house, it's your money.
It's our money, Lewis. Phone Patrick. Tell him you accept the job.
Is that what you really want?
Isn't it what you want? Lewis?
The problem is, when push comes to shove, what else can we do?
Ti amo, Lewis.
Ti amo.
Oh dear. Now Audrey knows the shocking truth. What's next for her, Gail and Lewis? Sue Nichols reveals the next twists at itv.com/CoronationStreet. Struggling with a student's lack of knowledge of a murder, he must know more surely. Lewis, the detective this time, continues next. Stay with us.